everyone! Welcome to Laurel & Artistry. I thought it would be fitting to start out my channel with a drawing of the two trees, Laurelin and Telperion, from Tolkien's Silmarillion, and also trying not to get too tongue-tied in the process. These trees, which would later go on to become the sun and the moon, a long story, I'm not going to try to recount that today, were created by two of the Valar, Yavanna and Yavanna, as the source of light in Valinor. So, in this drawing, I'll be having Yavanna creating the trees. First I start with a basic sketch of her pose and then continue to layer details. I like to shape Yavanna's dress to be reminiscent of tree roots at the bottom. Everything about her slim and long, with hair that flows like vines, clothed in materials that feel earthy and natural. Besides a few jewelry pieces I give her that I'd like to imagine were gifts from her husband Aule. Now, once I'm happy with how the sketch looks, I can go to the actual drawing, starting with an outline. Colors I'm using for Yavanna to feel woodsy, so I make even her skin a sort of mossy tone, which I think helps communicate the idea that she's a supernatural being and her physical form is very closely connected to her nature. Her eyes are a bright green to give them sort of a glow, which I think helps fully communicate her more mythical nature. I finish off the basic coloring and shading, and then add some details just to give a bit more texture and depth to my drawing. I add some golden details, because I think that makes her look a little more queenly. Then finally, give her a leaf crown and add a few extra leaves around her. Now, onto the background. I'm going to draw some circular patterns in which to form my trees, and I hope the end result will be slightly reminiscent of Art Nouveau. I'm also going to make Yavanna disappear so I can see the whole background. Bye, Yavanna! I draw the roots of the trees going up and branching out in the inner circle. And fill the outer circle with the leaves. One tree gold and one silver. Time to bring Yavanna back. Gotta adjust her positioning a bit, give her a thicker outline to make her stand out more from the trees. Also, while I'm at it, I'm gonna add some orange to the trees to symbolize the sun and the moon. I go ahead and adjust Yavanna's coloring a bit, giving her a bit of a contrast in shading, and I also kind of intermingle her skirt with the tree roots. The next thing I do is add a border, which I end up erasing anyways and redoing because I wasn't very happy with it. And then I add some color to the background. I make a few final tweaks on the coloring and the lighting. And at last, I have my finished piece. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you'll be here to join me next time as well. But in the meantime, hope Morgoth doesn't get you. Ciao.